Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rose and I'm gonna be showing you today this dramatic blue eye makeup look that I did using the Morphe 39A Dare to Create palette. So if you just feel like having fun with makeup, creating a bolder and more dramatic look, this is one of the looks you could do. And if you want to see how I created this look, then please continue watching. Okay, so starting with eyes, in case there's some fallout today, as I'm gonna be using bold colors, and that way it's gonna be easier to clean underneath. And to start off, I'm gonna be using the BH Studio Pro Total Coverage Concealer in the shade 104, which is light. And I'm gonna be prepping the lids. Okay, so taking my Morphe M224 concealer brush, and just going in to carve out underneath the brows and also to cover any discoloration and to prep the eyes for the shadows that are coming next. Now taking my concealer buffer brush from Zoeva 142 and just buffing and making the concealer a little bit softer. Okay, so doing the other eye. And now I'm gonna set the concealer with a little bit of translucent powder. Before doing that, I'm just gonna dab gently with my fingers, just in case there's some creasing already happened. Okay, now taking my Zoeva 221 Luxe Soft Crease Brush, and I'm using the Morphe 39A Dare to Create palette, and the first shade I'm gonna be dipping in. Oh. And I'm going into the first transition shade right here. I lost my sheet with all the names on it, so I have no idea, I forgot the names, but as you can see here, I'm gonna be showing you each and every one. So if you have this palette, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So the first, right above the blues, so right in the crease. taking the small Luxe Petite Crease from my Zoeva collection, and I'm going into this transition shade right here to add just a little bit more depth to the crease. Now taking the first brush and a little bit of the first shade, and I'm gonna be blending those two colors together. Now taking my Zoeva Luxe Smoky Shader brush, and I'm going into this navy here, and I'm gonna be placing that onto the lids as well. Okay, now taking the second brush, then I used the Luxe Petite brush, and I'm gonna be dipping in the second transition shade right here. What I want to do is just diffuse the edges of the blue, so basically barely touching again the edges and staying as close to the edge as possible, but still going over it and diffusing the color. Going back into the Luxe Smoky Shader brush 234, the one that I applied the blue with, and cleaning up the brush a little bit so that there's no more pigment, and I'm just going to be blending the edges again with this one. I find this easier for my type of deep set eyes to get into, actually, even though it's a little bit denser than the crease brush, but I find this to work better. Gonna go and do the same on the other eye. Taking that first brush, Luxe Soft Crease, and diffusing the edges again. I'm having a whole lot of fun with this colorful look. I'm going into the BH Cosmetics Base Booster. I got it last year just before this pandemic and I never used it, and today's the day. So I am just grabbing one of their, it's kind of like silicone brush made just for these type of things, so I can apply some shimmery blue shade on top of the lids. This might have been too much, but let's see what happens. So grabbing another shader brush and dipping into this shimmery shade right here next to the navy, the blue. at that pop of the blue. Whoa, I love it. Okay, so I'm popping on these falsies from J Lash. Now cleaning up underneath the eyes. There was a little bit fallout. And before I apply the base, I'm gonna put a little bit more moisturizer that I removed now with the cleaning. And while that sets for a little bit, I can do my eyebrows using my BH Cosmetics HD Brow Pencil in Blonde. And I'm just gonna quickly, well, first I'm gonna brush out, up and out my eyebrows and fill them in quickly. Okay, so the moisturizer I'm sure has set in, and I did my eyebrows, and now I'm taking my Zoeva 102 Silk Finish foundation brush and I'm going into the new L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation that I did a first impression on in my last video. So if you want to check it out, I'm just gonna dab all over my face, and I'm gonna be starting from the center and blending everything out. And that's it for foundation. I'm gonna put a little bit concealer under the eyes, and then I'm gonna contour with a powder contour to warm up my face a little bit. Okay, so I'm using the same concealer I used, taking the same Morphe brush And I'm going into these two first shades, and the contour palette is from Sephora. These are really good contour shades. So I'm just gonna go underneath my cheekbones to carve out those a little bit. Going all the way into my hairline and stopping kind of halfway to the mouth. Just underneath the cheekbones. A little bit along the jawline. And then around the perimeter of my face. Mostly into the hairline. If you have small forehead, you might want to avoid contouring on your forehead. As you can tell, I have a big one. It won't hurt me. And I'm taking this BH Cosmetics Spotlight Highlight 6 color palette, and I'm taking this shade here onto my Zoeva pencil brush, putting some of the highlighter underneath my brow. Now back into the Morphe palette and going into the first transition shade we used, and I'm gonna be dragging that along the lower lash line. Going back into my highlight palette and taking this first shade at the bottom to pop some in my inner corners. And taking mascara from Physicians Formula Organic Wear and popping that onto the lower lash line. Let's go into some blush, and I'm gonna be using this from BH Cosmetics, and I'm gonna grab my blush brush, and my favorite is pink when it comes to blush, so that's what I'm gonna be taking and just placing a little bit on top of my cheeks. Okay, for the lips, I'm taking the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream, and the shade is Abu Dhabi. I'm gonna take that, but first I'm gonna line my lips a little bit with the lip pencil from, I think it's Cosmetico, and it's Misty Brown shade, so just to define a little bit. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching as much as I did creating it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you did enjoy it, give the video a thumbs up, share the love, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!